Hi, I'm Jack Davis, and welcome to another episode of The Zone. With me today to talk football, we have Korbin Miles. Hello. Is Vine famous? Like, is that okay to say?
Yeah.
Is that offensive or
no?
No,
That's okay, I guess.
Vine famous, soon to be real famous, Korbin Miles. And former University of Arizona kicker, Jake Smith. Jake, thanks for, it's a very
That's actually impressive.
Yeah. Very straightforward name. Jack Davis and Jake Smith.
Very unique.
Yeah.
Korbin Miles.
Anyway, so guys, let's talk NFL. And the sad thing is we can't start talking NFL without having to talk scandal. Adrian Peterson, right on the heels of the Ray Rice situation. I mean, what do you guys think? What's your take? On anything, jump right in. I mean, there's too many scandals for me to pick from. I can't even tell you one scandal to start with.
Well, the Ray Rice one is obviously well documented. Has the video and everything where he Mike Tyson's her in the elevator, and he's lucky she basically didn't die by hitting the rail.
Yeah.
So he could have been going a lot worse. But I really feel bad.
And Adrian Peterson's video would maybe be worse.
I feel kind of bad for Adrian Peterson. Not that he abused his child, but that he is right on the tail end. So I think he's going to get a lot worse in terms of punishment because of it.
And this is a situation I've flopped back and forth on, right? At first when it came out, I'm like, yeah, he's got to be gone forever. That's barbaric. But then it's like, look, it's a culture I don't understand. You know, things are differently based on where you are in the U.S. It's his child, you know, and then a lot of people came defense. And then I went on the other side. It's kind of like what the Vikings actually did. I'm like, the Vikings, it's fine. No, it's not fine. Okay, it's fine. No, now you're gone.
Here's the thing. You're absolutely right. It's a culture thing. There's different ways to parent a child. He was parented that way. He likes the way that he turned out, and that's the way that he knows how to parent. Now, should you be hitting a child? In my opinion, absolutely not. Do I like the way I turned out? Yeah. Did my dad ever hit me? No. But that being said, I know plenty of people who did get whoopings. That's what they call them. That's what it is, whether it be a stick, a hand, a belt. Like, I know people that have gone through that. They love their parents love them, and they turned out the way they are because of that. That said, my issue is more with the media than anything else, because what it really comes down to is the media forces the team's hand right now because of the Ray Rice situation and the Dwyer situation and all the things that are going on. It's very easy.
But the teams could not be reacting more poorly. Like with the Vikings, it's funny because I'm sitting here joking about I'm flip-flopping, but it doesn't matter because who am I? I'm just a person with an opinion. The actual team is flip-flopping like a person with an opinion.
You have a star player, which is where it varies from the Dwyer situation. You have the face of the franchise.
One of the faces of the NFL.
Absolutely. He's one of the few NFL guys that's visually recognizable by their face, not just their jersey number, which is hard because guys wear helmets. That's where it differs in the NBA. So putting a face to these guys is almost harder than anything else. And when that face is this malicious child-beating or womanizing, wife-beating person, that's bad for the entire league, not just for that person.
I mean, I feel like, the NFL is almost falling apart in a sense because if you're Roger Goodell and you're just handled this so horribly, you got to just be like, please no one else get in trouble. Please no one else do something stupid. Hey, Roger, Jonathan Dwyer got arrested for domestic assault. Damn it. I mean, do you think this is going to stop? Do you think this is going to get worse? What do you think, Korbin?
I hope so. This entire week, I follow Adam Schefter on Twitter, and it seems like every single other tweet he's been sending out has been somebody else has been arrested for domestic violence. You think they would all know by now? Just basically stay away from women for a couple weeks.
Well, it's just so bad for the league because now I'm seeing tweets like, jokes like, NFL warning app. If you're within a mile of an NFL player, this app lets you know you're not safe. And that's the image the league's becoming now.
I mean, that's an issue. I think another issue is, again, with the media. Like, you have Colin Cowherd. I was watching him today. He goes on. He's like, we've never had issues with the NBA players like this. First off, that's just completely false. Just completely wrong. I mean, just take Gilbert Arenas, for example. They have guns out in the locker room. That could have been way worse than any of this. Like, you're talking about teammates killing each other. All bad.
That would be a story. Oh, my God.
Be a hell of a story. Just the guns itself were was a story. But my issue is, this is a very low-risk thing for everyone to pile up on, to kind of give their take on, because there's no two sides of it when you're talking about it. It's like, I have to condemn this, and it's very low risk for somebody to come out. The same way that the Donald Sterling situation was. But
the Peterson thing is a little murkier because, with Ray Rice, the situation, it was so clearly abhorrent. It was so, he had, from the start, everyone knew the NFL was getting it wrong, and they just got it it just got worse and worse for them. But with Adrian Peterson, players are coming out and supporting him, right? Because a lot of players were raised that same way. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, like, you know, my parents, I never had that type of situation, but like you, I know people who's, you know, I went to Duke, right? You know, Southeastern school. Plenty of kids had that type of stuff, and they didn't seem to be a big issue, so it's murkier.
Roddy White actually tweeted.
And Roddy White's quite an eventful tweeter.
He is quite an eventful tweeter, but he tweeted out and then shortly after deleted it because everybody was going after him that he's like, my fantasy team's going to lose this week because Ray Rice can't spank his own child.
Adrian Peterson can't spank his own child.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson can't spank his own child, and everybody kind of went after him.
If you're an athlete, there's just no benefit to saying anything controversial on Twitter.
He hasn't learned yet.
And Jake, you actually worked at an NFL agency, so I'm sure you know some of the agents and people in your administration try and, like, do you say to guys like, don't be stupid on Twitter?
Oh, absolutely.
And they just love to be stupid on Twitter.
There are certain guys that feel the need to voice their opinions, and they don't see the business ramifications of anything. Because, like you said before, you're just some guy with an opinion. There are these guys.
I'm truly just some guy. Very little followers.
Great guy. Great guy.
Great guy. Good-looking guy, but just some guy.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
But people feel the need to be heard. Mm-hmm. So and you take a lot of these guys, and 99% of them are alphas that don't want to be told calm down. That don't want to be told rein yourself in at all. So you tell a guy that, and it's almost challenging them to actually do it.
So you played football at Arizona. You know, me and Korbin were fans. Well, I want to know what it's like. Is like, you know, did your coaches at Arizona? Because college football is still huge stakes, right? So did coaches at Arizona say stuff like, "Don't tweet, don't Instagram, don't be dumb"?
Oh, absolutely. We would have a meeting literally in the fall and spring, and our athletic director would call people out for dumb tweets. Like, for example, I had a teammate who put on Instagram and Twitter. He was having a child. Put on Instagram and Twitter a photo of a onesie for his future child at the time that said, "Daddy only wanted a blowjob."
Wow.
Put that out there on social media.
That actually sounds like it could be a good sketch for one of your Vines, though. Like, you can use real-life athlete tweets to make hilarious Vine sketches.
So, like, it was a funny situation, but at the same time, like, he got his privilege.
It's the most offensive thing I've ever heard.
I want that shirt.
Daddy only wanted a blowjob?
Right? And that kid's going to see that.
How is the mom not furious? Like, that's got to be so disrespectful.
Can you buy these shirts somewhere?
It was a picture. It was a picture of it in the store saying, "I need this for my child." He got it for his child.
Oh my word!
And then posted a picture of his child wearing that.
Wow.
That's a real thing.
That's so messed up for that kid. So that kid's gonna be 25, and like that photo's gonna still be circulating. God forbid that kid ever becomes famous or is like super successful on that level. That photo's coming.
That kid
back
wants
up.
to be president. It's not gonna happen.
Not gonna be happening.
Not gonna happen at all. So yes,
Amazing.
there are definitely warnings to be careful. Some people got their privileges revoked. So it's really not your personal when you're in that situation, and I can only imagine it at a professional level. But when you're in that situation, you're not just tweeting for yourself. It's not just a personal account. If you're in the NFL, it's a business account. You're making money for tweeting for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
So you need to represent yourself in a business fashion. So when you do stuff like Roddy White, I guarantee you companies aren't lining up to spend money and represent themselves with Roddy White.
Because Korbin, you're a social media, should I say star, savant, expert?
Person. Let's downgrade that.
Well, then what am I? If you're a social media person, what am I? A social media
Very
peasant?
attractive is what you are.
Okay.
You're very attractive. Man.
But you actually you've worked with brands in the past and stuff like that. And again, for you, you're a comedian, so it's different. But like, you know, do you ever wonder like, God, I wish I could take over for these guys, or like, do you ever like? I mean, it's crazy, you know, the lack of awareness.
I've dealt with companies before, and when they want you to do brand work. And they'll want you to act a certain way. You can't say certain stuff. And some people are just too strong-headed to really care. Roddy White being one of them. He's just very vocal and very out there. And Johnny Manziel was the same way in college, right?
He's still the same way. Johnny Manziel's
taking
putting up photos of him rolling up dollar bills on his stomach in a Vegas bathroom. That's just a terrible look.
Like, go with what Waka did. What Waka Flocka did, and hire someone to do that for you. You have the money, just hire someone to do that for you so you don't get caught doing it.
So, as we wrap up our NFL talk here, I got to ask, Roger Goodell, will he be fired, and do you think should he be fired? I say he won't be fired, but he should be. What do you say, Korbin?
I don't think he'll be fired, and I don't believe he should be.
Why don't you think so?
Because It's
Because I want to see him screw up more, and I want to see him take the lead all the way down.
I agree he mishandled the situation severely. And obviously 2 games.
I think that's a fair statement. That he mishandled it severely.
2 games was a joke, but I do not believe it was his fault for what happened. I think we're turning this to it's something about Roger Goodell instead of it's a domestic violence issue.
Fair point.
So, yeah, that's basically.
Jake, what do you think?
I don't think he will be fired because the ownership is who handles that and who controls that, and they're paying him $44 million a year for a reason. And they're not just going to fire him because he has done a great job growing the business, taking over media cycles, moving the draft back. All those things are great for the NFL. Has he severely fucked up in this situation? Yes.
Yeah.
Really, really poorly. And the thing is, he only made it worse when he punished Ray Rice twice. So when you suspend him indefinitely, he's now going to go back and sue the league.
He's
to get
going
paid.
to win too, right? He's got to win.
Ray Rice is going to get paid.
You work. I mean, you work for an agency, right? And, you're former players. You have both perspectives. And for me, it's funny because Roger Goodell has somehow made Ray Rice sympathetic. Because obviously what Ray Rice did was abhorrent. He deserves every ounce of criticism and shame he's getting. But you can't just double jeopardy. That just goes against everything we believe in as a country. He suspended him. Then he made a loophole policy. Yeah. Oh, I messed up, so now for the future we do this. And then he did a third one and just suspended him indefinitely. You can't do that.
Yeah, Ray Rice is going to get paid.
Well, so it's not just double jeopardy just in our society, because if we cared just about our society, we would let due process happen.
It's true.
Now, but in the NFL, I think it's Article either 43 or 46 of the CBA, you cannot get punished twice for the same crime. It'd be different if he lied to the NFL. But all sources say
he didn't.
That he told them he punched and knocked her out in the elevator. He told them that. So if that warranted a 2-game suspension originally, if he then wanted to retroactively change the policy to 6 games, that's one thing. But for him to suspend him indefinitely, he's going.
Yeah, he's going to win. He should.
If the league doesn't remedy it themselves, I guarantee you, his agent takes them to court and sues them, and he wins.
Yeah,
he absolutely wins.
I like also agent in training here knew that Article 43, Article 46.
It's one or the other.
It's one or the other. It's still. And there's a lot of articles probably. It's still pretty good to get it down to 2. If you could send as Roger Goodell 1 tweet, if you could just take over his account, and you can make it funny, you can make it fucked up, or you can make it trying to save your public image. What 1 tweet would you send as Goodell?
Would I send to him or would I send
as
Goodell?
Out. I just give you the credentials to Goodell's Twitter account. I'm like, you can send out anything right now. Maybe you do it on behalf of him to save him, or maybe you just want to dig him further. It's just too dangerous of a question for you right now.
Oh, God. It'd probably be some sort of a picture of...
Yeah. What if you just tweeted out like, oh man, he's on a vacation. Oh, the Bahamas is beautiful. That'd be pretty good.
Just BRB or something.
Yeah, BRB. I love that, BRB. So shifting over from NFL scandal to college scandal, let's talk about college players being paid. Jake, you were one of the first to join the Ed O'Bannon trial. As we all know, for those who don't know maybe, the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit for college athletes getting paid for their images and likenesses being used. You joined that suit. Tell us what that was like, just briefly.
So let's go to
this photo of you on ESPN is great. First of all, how hard did you try to manicure the hair, beard? Because you're I'm going to be on ESPN. This photo.
I think
that looks like a 2-day stubble. 2-day stubble.
Something like it.
Okay.
I got my hair cut before.
No, it looks good. It's good. You did a good job.
Russell Wilson over there. Nice.
Appreciate it. No, so honestly, what it comes down to is less about players being paid and more about being protected. The players getting paid lawsuits are in the works right now. The O'Bannon lawsuit was really more about protections, getting what we deserved, and getting royalties. So in reality, I did not do it to get rich. I'm not going to get rich off of it. No one's going to get rich off this lawsuit, but it does set precedent for the next lawsuits to get TV money and things like that. We didn't go after personal damages because we wanted to win. And we want it to be a bench trial. There's a lot of reasons we did what we did. But really what it comes down to is both myself and Jake, who you see in that picture, we both had torn ACLs. We both are going to have significant knee problems and personal issues when it comes to medical expenses for the rest of our lives. And the NCAA has no reason, no obligation to compensate us and protect us for that. In the same way, a lot of these guys on the teams are forced into majors like general studies and things like that where whether they graduate or not, it more or less is a high school diploma. So what are they going to do after that? And the reason is they have a full-time job going on, which is both physically and mentally exhausting. So a lot
You
of
could
these
say physically and mentally debilitating.
also as well.
Yeah,
Like
not
I
just
have.
exhausting.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I mean, I've had friends that have had to medically retire for both knee injuries, head injuries, brain damage. That I have a friend that literally can't read for more than 5 minutes without getting a severe migraine headache. So what is he supposed to do the rest of his life? You know what I mean? He did it putting his body on the line, making billions of dollars for this entity that exists to protect the student athlete,
gives him
which is the biggest bullshit term I've ever heard in my entire life. You are athletes first. You don't get recruited by a school. You get recruited by a coach, by a program, no matter what sport you're in. They don't even feed us. So now finally with the pressure of this lawsuit, and if you want to attack somebody, you attack their pockets. It's the only way that something this large is going to listen. So we did what we had to do. Now being part of it, we'll go back to social media and what it took to do that. We had death threats. We had people saying, "Oh, you ruined this, ruined that," and everything like that. And the strength it took to not respond was actually kind of hard.
Yeah, because I would have responded in about a minute. It's amazing you could withdraw.
There were so many times where I literally typed out a tweet and then deleted it.
What was the most
before I sent
absurd
it.
thing someone said to you?
Somebody I remember specifically. There were a bunch of people that said, "Go kill yourself." Whatever. That's not creative. I didn't pay.
That's not creative at all.
There are certain people that would say, that went kind of like Taken style, Liam Neeson. Like literally, I have a special set of skills. Like this is what I would do to you, and they laid out a plan. Like I'd rip off this toe and then this finger, and then I'd cut both your ACLs in half, and then I'd chop off your legs. I was like, really?
Very descriptive.
Did I hurt you that much?
Yeah.
Like did what I did to protect people that come after me
That's got
hurt
to
you
be
that
a
much?
crime, right? Like threatening someone like that over social media. That's got to be a crime.
Is it?
Yeah, you can definitely get in trouble for that.
I don't know. I
Definitely threats are not like a good way to go.
If you send that to the
No.
president, they would definitely.
yeah, but I'm
be
just
good.
some guy.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just some guy.
Just some guy.
I hate you guys saying setting the some guy benchmark so low. Set the some guy benchmark higher, all right? But no, that's crazy. Amazing though, but lawsuit successful, and they're gonna appeal it to infinity. But do you think that things are gonna be, seen because of your guys' work going better? Things are gonna be better going forward for college athletes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've already seen the changes start to happen. I mean, just at Arizona, for example, Arizona is now feeding their athletes. Like, no matter what sport you play, like all the athletes are benefiting from it, whether they be scholarship or walk-ons. They're still getting fed both breakfast and dinner. Like that's huge. Like imagine just.
I can't believe we're sitting here debating whether athletes should be fed breakfast and dinner. Like that's like what
It's
that's
crazy.
That's how crazy it is.
It's crazy. It's not even 3 meals though. It's literally, and it's about snacks. One of the most ridiculous rules ever was, I think this is 2 years ago, and then a year ago they finally changed it. You were allowed to get bagels, but you weren't allowed to get cream cheese. So you're allowed to get bagels because that's a snack, but if you have cream cheese on it, then it's a meal.
Oh my God.
So like you'd have a bagel, but you wouldn't be allowed to put anything on it, and like that was a real rule. Like people don't even understand how ridiculous and absurd the NCAA is. It's absurd.
Corbin, what is your reaction to this?
It's comical, right?
It is a meal if you put cream cheese on it. Peanut butter, no. But if you put cream cheese.
We're getting a lot of potential, just like little comedy shorts, just from the ridiculousness of real life sports.
That's ridiculous. Really?
Like next line, I'm gonna put my cream cheese in my bagel. Bam,
can't
arrested.
do that.
NCAA jail forever.
For real.
Plus, bagels suck without cream cheese. Like that's just mean. That's just cruel.
You put anything on it, and it was
No jelly.
No, it's called like.
I
the
do
cream
feel like
cheese
cream cheese is a more substantial condiment than jelly, though. Like it fills you up a little more.
roll. We're really talking.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like they should do that. But yeah, great stuff. Anyway, now let's move on to the fun part. Let's just talk round table style. Favorite Madden team? We all love Madden. Who do you play as in Madden?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Did you like playing with the Eagles when they had McNabb and you could just run around? I mean, how's it with
So
Foles?
so back in the day when there was McNabb, there was also Vic on the Falcons, and he was the most unstoppable player in Madden history. So like when he was on the cover in 04, I think he was on the cover.
Yeah.
The most unstoppable player in Madden history. No matter what anybody tells you,
He was
he
the
could
greatest.
throw, he could run, and if you didn't run with him,
In Madden, he could throw.
Yeah.
correct, absolutely.
So Corbin, did you play? You're a Falcons fan.
I am.
Did you play as the Falcons in Madden?
Always. I feel dirty if I don't.
And let's hear about your opinion of 2004 Michael Vick, who was the great. He wasn't Michael Vick in that 2004 Madden. He was Superman.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he was like Tim Tebow in college, but
But don't
like
you?
NFL.
Here's what I think, and you're a Falcons fan, so I want to get your take.
The one.
I think Michael Vick, and this is like a crazy statement, but I think he's the most overrated player in NFL history. Overrated? What do you say?
That's a broad
What do you
statement
say?
there.
I mean, he was like kind of hailed as like, he revolutionized the position in a lot of ways and being like a running quarterback who was mobile, could still throw and had a big arm. But this guy never won anything, and people he was marketed and portrayed as a superstar and got paid like a superstar. But in big,
he was a superstar. I wouldn't say he's the most overrated because it's hard to win by yourself. And I'm a Falcons fan, but those Falcons teams that he was on were awful. Outside of basically Eric Dunn, you didn't have much else. And so it's hard to just, unless you're Peyton Manning, I guess, it's hard to just be that only guy there and win it. So I wouldn't say he's the most overrated.
You don't like my overration of Michael Vick. You seem upset.
I'm
Michael
not
Vick
upset.
a client?
No.
Now, obviously, I'm just a fan, because if Michael Vick came here
But he's
right
great
now,
with
I'd be like,
dogs.
you're the greatest Michael Vick. Oh, man.
I'm a
Imagine,
Falcons fan, I can
imagine
joke.
if the Michael Vick dog scandal broke now. Like, what if it just waited, like, it's like now a star quarterback on top of all the NFL stuff?
First off, there are so many things that are worse. Like, I'm not discounting or discrediting domestic violence because it is one of the worst things in the world, and the same with child abuse, two of the worst things that you can do. But Dante Stallworth killed a guy.
Yeah, he killed someone.
He went to jail for 28 days and was out of the year for a year.
Just
Or
to
out of the
recap,
league for a year.
Great
Dante
rise.
Stallworth, and this is all a true story. He got drunk and high, and then ran someone over drunk and high, and played once he got out of jail.
Yeah, and but he was in jail for less than a month.
Yeah. And
Like-
again, obviously, I totally see what you're saying. We're not discounting the seriousness of other crimes, but he literally got drunk and high and ran someone over.
And Ray Rice
Like,
got
and he played.
And they tested his alcohol blood level, and it was like 0.15, and they tested his urine, and it's like, oh, you smoked weed like right before you did this.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Twitter. I think Twitter has allowed people to weigh in on things and get, outrage riled up.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, my biggest issue with these NFL teams and the way that they're handling this is they're responding more to public pressure than moral.
Yeah, totally agree.
You know what I mean?
It's about the bottom line.
It's
Bottom
all
line.
about money, and if they feel like they're going to lose money,
Then they make
the move. So that's why Adrian Peterson, being the face of the franchise, being their star, getting blown out, was going to force them into playing him. I guarantee you, if he won, he would have still been out.
I agree.
It's affecting my fantasy team, though, so I'm very upset with that.
So talk about something that can affect your going out life. How about Korbin here? He's married. You can maybe answer politically correctly. You don't want your wife seeing this, getting upset. But Jake, you and me can debate. Tom Brady, Johnny Manziel, two of the all-time lady killers. If you could go out with one as a wingman, you got to pick one to go out with as a wingman. Who are you picking?
Tom Brady. Easy Tom Brady.
Look at that mug. What a good-looking mug.
It is.
First off,
Now that's not some guy. That's a
good
man.
scruff.
let's
right
just
there.
go down the list of who he's been with.
Yeah.
He's up there with Derek Jeter and Justin Timberlake for his hit list. It's absurd. Johnny goes after these little college girls and things like that. I'm way more interested in these Victoria's Secret models. Just saying.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you have Tom Brady with you, number one, you don't need to be the best looking guy there. I'm completely fine being next to Tom Brady. That's fine with me because he has one of the most beautiful women in the world on his arm. That's not going to let him do anything stupid. So all the girls that are coming to him, they just are like, oh, so how do you know him?
The funnel. You can just
I'm okay
funnel
with
it
that.
Right there.
I have more than enough confidence in myself to be okay with that.
I'm still taking Manziel. That guy.
Why?
Guy. Because my dream, not my dream weekend.
He's
but
your
a great,
dream
a great weekend would be just Manziel in Vegas. Like I feel like Manziel's got to be first team all Vegas right now.
I'd rather be with Gronk personally.
Gronk would
Well,
be
they
fun.
go
than
together,
Johnny.
so they just come out to a super Vegas force.
First off, Gronk is one of the most fun people in the entire world.
He went to Arizona.
He
Did
did
you play
go
with
to
him?
Arizona. I didn't play with him. He left before I got there. But I
seems
met
like a
him a
frat
couple
boy.
times, gone out with him a couple times.
Yeah.
He's a great person to go out with.
He probably can drink. I know you probably can't say that answer, but he can probably drink.
He's a good time.
He
He
can probably
knows how to
just-
have fun.
He probably just eats the whole handle, just with the glass and everything, and then just goes out.
He knows how to have fun.
Gronk thirsty.
Yeah, he knows how to have fun. But I feel like with Gronk, it's more of like a jovial good time. With Tom Brady, it's more of a high-class good
Yeah.
time. And with Johnny, I feel like I'd be worried about the douchey good time, which
Yeah,
you can do once in a while. But if I'm looking for a wingman, that's not who I want.
Yeah. Corbin, do you have an answer on this, or do you have to stay out
Well,
of it?
originally, no, it's okay. Originally, I thought Manziel because he's definitely not as attractive as a Tom Brady, and so you could easily steal all those women. Then, my esteemed colleague here made a argument for Tom Brady bringing all those hot women
Yeah.
over, and you could just steal them because he's married. They know he's married.
Yeah.
He can't go home with any of
Funnel.
them.
It's the funnel, man. It just funnels it right to you.
So yeah, it's a tough debate, but probably Tom Brady.
So last question before we let you guys get out of here. If you could win any sports championship as like the star player on the team, would you rather win Super Bowl is the star football player, basketball is the star forward, star guard, or MLB as the star player for your MLB team.
Go ahead.
I'm taking a guess that MLB is not going to win for any of us.
That's not going to win.
No, it's not gonna
MLB's
win.
out.
I would pick the Stanley Cup before I picked a World Series
The
title.
Stanley Cup? Oh, before World Series. I thought you were going to say that overall.
No. Those would be 3 and 4, but it would definitely be World Series 4, Stanley Cup 3. Then it's kind of a toss-up for me. But I think it would be the Super Bowl. There's just something about being a Super Bowl champion that is more special to me than anything else as a football player.
Most watched event in America.
Yeah, but I think it's more the fact that in the NBA, you can't win by yourself. But I don't think basketball is the ultimate team game as much as football. Like football, you have guys that don't get the publicity, like the linemen that are vitally important. You have one guy that makes a mistake on a play, it could cost you an entire game. So I think winning the ultimate team sport, and I'm a team first guy, so I think that would be more special to me than the NBA Finals.
Good to know you see yourself as a team first guy, not as a selfish me first guy.
Team first.
Big distinction.
Team
Corbin,
first.
If you could win one title in one sport.
WNBA. Yeah, it's a tough one. Definitely the NFL would be the obvious, clear answer because that's the one I enjoy watching
And
the most.
you dream of your Falcons hoisting the Lombardi, which they'll never do with Matt
This
Ryan.
year, they're going to
sadly.
do it this year. Please. But then it's the Olympics in the conversation.
You want to throw Olympics in there? Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Michael
Gold
Phelps
medal.
is doing pretty darn well for
Yeah.
himself, and he did it all by himself. But then I'd probably say the NFL though.
Yeah.
It's
There is a value to the do it by yourself sports. Like this was all me. Like no one else takes. Like if you're golf or tennis, it's like
a bunch
I
of
just
people.
dusted
A
everyone
bunch
else.
of people win gold medals
Yeah.
in the Olympics. Only one team a year wins the Super
There's
Bowl.
got to be something cool about being Usain Bolt. Like I know we like idolize LeBron and Kobe
Fastest
and Brady and Manning, but yeah, being the fastest man in the world.
You're the fastest guy.
You're the fastest
Cool.
guy.
You can run away from a fight faster. It's cool.
like honestly, that doesn't do it for me. Personally, you don't have to be able to catch. You don't have to be able to throw. You don't have to be able to cut.
Yeah, you're right. Usain Bolt's a terrible athlete.
I didn't say that, but I don't think
What a joke.
that when people call him the greatest athlete in the world, I think that is a joke. Now if you put him on a basketball court and he could compete, okay, maybe that gives credence to that, but I just don't see it as a sprinter being the best athlete in the world. I don't.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Absolutely amazing time. We should do this again, us three as a group. Corbin, do you want to tell anyone where they can find you? How they can find you? Nope, don't want to promote.
Shh, it's a secret.
Don't find Corbin's Vine. Don't
No.
find his Twitter.
Don't find me at all.
Don't look for Corbin.
Where would they look for you if
Twitter, Vine, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. It's all
Your
Korbin
house.
Miles.
They can find you. You know, they can find
My
you there,
address.
too.
I'll give you my social later if you want.
Jake, anything you want to say about your work with Priority Sports? Anywhere people can find you, follow you?
You can definitely follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those are kind of my big things, and that's at @IKicked_. IKICKED_. Used to be iKick, but
Corbin's following him
It's
right
very
now.
complicated.
I thought it was clever. I like.
Yeah,
to
I have
make
the
myself
worst social
laugh.
media names ever, so I need to change them. So I can't be one
Yeah,
to judge.
can we work on that?
We'll work on that
Unfollowed
after
you
the
already.
show.
I'm sorry.
Corbin, thank you so much for coming on. Jake,
you.
thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Everyone, thank you for watching another episode of The Zone. Make sure to subscribe to the Lip TV, where you can see short form versions of The Zone. And then hop over to the Lip TV 2, and you can see our full-length episodes. Follow the Lip TV on Twitter, @the Lip TV on Facebook, Instagram, and we will see you next week.